Welcome back to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. Episode 103 of the WBP is on deck, and here we go. Music can get dark sometimes, but that's okay. We like to lighten it up with a little hawk tuah, if you know what I mean. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. With no further ado, Ryan and Jonny. Clap, clap, clap. Let's get back to the hat.
That's what you did last week. Be more original.
Well, you're not supposed to use that stuff. That was just me doing the clappy clap. I didn't know the clappy clap's part of the show.
Well, you don't bring a whole lot to the table these days, Jonny. I got to take what I can get.
What do you mean? I'm here. That's great. That's a lot. That's a lot to the table. It's a big table. I'm sitting at it.
Yeah. What up, dude?
What's up? You're slick. You're looking slick again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast.
Welcome to episode 103.
This is Jonny with his friend Slick.
You call me Slick because I got my glasses on still.
Right. Hey, have you ever seen the movie Heat?
I have not. It's on my list.
Dude, I can't believe you've never seen Heat. It's up there with Goodfellas and Casino. Like, it's one of those great films.
So that's the one where Pacino goes, huh!
Yeah. She's got a great ass, and I got my head right up on it. Or whatever it is. It's so awesome. No, but the one guy in there refers to everybody as Slick. He's like, settle down, Slick. So,
well, I'll tell you what, dude. You can call me whatever you want. I got
if an image had a name, if an image had a name, your image's name would be Slick.
Okay, I'll take it. I got the glasses on still.
Yeah.
I still got the red eyes. I had my follow-up appointment. I got to have my eye lasered again next Monday.
So why?
Because they didn't get all of the tear with the first lasers. So I get to go back in and do it all again.
Speaking of lasers, do you see these sunbeams coming off the lights in my picture? I just noticed it.
Yeah, your lights are bright. Your lights are bright. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
So,
but hey, one last closing fault.
Is it their fault that they got to do this again?
I think so. I got to figure out like the right time and right person to ask the question. Like, look, man, I paid for this already. It's not my fault. You got to do it again. I'm not paying twice. Right?
No pay twice.
Right? Yeah.
No pay twice.
Yeah.
It's almost like
agree.
That would be like pay to pee. But different.
Pay to pee. You know, on a closing point, and I don't want to be boring because I don't appreciate you calling me boring last week. I watched last week's episode and I'm going through something and I'm telling my story and I have hopes that it probably helped someone out there. Maybe someone said, well, I'm going to make a checkup, and they went and they caught something before it was a problem. And you called me boring, and I don't appreciate it. I
didn't call you boring. I called the story boring.
What's the difference?
Well, because you're not boring as a human. Big difference.
All right. Well, I mean, I agree. Maybe that's why I reacted so negatively to being called boring. Anyway, what's up? What's up?
I took notice that too because Stone Man got on, and the first thing was like, "Yeah, let me tell this story again." To Stone Man, it's like, no.
I'm gonna let it slide.
The first time it was fine.
I'm self-conscious of the eyes. I could do the podcast without the glasses if you'd like me to. I'd happily do the podcast without the sunglasses. It might hurt the results, I think, because I don't look cute.
We don't need to hurt results. Results don't to be hurt. I just know that it looks like I'm in a fucking sauna over here with my camera.
Yeah, you already said that. You're being boring. Anyway, what's up, man?
Wow.
Coming in hot.
Nothing much, man.
5 minutes in, nothing's been said.
I've got a proposition that I want to sell to my band later. Yeah. We have the day off in Sweden, and Martin is going to be working at Helge.
You have the day off? What day off?
We're playing July 6th, and then the 7th and 8th Time to Rock Festival is still happening. So the proposition that I want to sell to my band is, if we leave after the gig on the 6th and drive to Time to Rock, we could get there in time for my guys in my band to see Hardcore Superstar at 1:30 in the afternoon the following day.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Random. That's what I'm going to try to sell.
So why is that a hard sell? Why isn't it just like, hey, let's do this?
Oh, it probably isn't a hard sell at all. They're probably like, yeah.
Okay. Good story, Chuck.
Yeah, thanks, pal. What's up with you?
Yeah.
Besides the eye surgery gone wrong.
Eye surgery, well, it didn't go wrong. It just didn't go complete. So
There was something musical I wanted to talk to you about that I can't seem to remember right now.
Oh, hey. Shall we wait?
No, I just wanted to let you know because I thought of Andy Guttercat at the time because I'm like, Andy likes music stuff. This is music stuff.
Johnny preparation over here.
Oh, you know what it was? I stumbled upon that band Royal Blood yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
and well, yeah and no. Well, yes, they're very cool.
Explain that.
But, I heard 3 songs.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved one of them and didn't really dig the other 2.
Got it. So you think
I don't know what to make of them.
They don't have a strong catalog?
Maybe because it was like I was listening to something on my Apple Music, and when that album was finished, it just started playing things that were like in the vein of it, like a whole bunch of Itchy Poop Skid came up and all this other stuff. But
jeez. German band.
Yeah, this song came on. I was like, "Who is this? This is awesome!" And then it was just so like refreshing to hear like a somewhat heavy tune with super catchy choruses and shit. Like it was awesome.
Was it new or was it one of their? I don't know. Because they've been around for I think like 10-ish years.
Really, they've been around that long.
Yeah.
If I was to venture to say, I would say the song that I really liked was the new one, and the stuff that I heard after that was older. Only because the stuff that I didn't like didn't sound as mature, if that makes any sense. It sounded like they were still discovering their sound, and then that song that I loved was like they finally hit their stride on their sound or something.
That's the hardest thing. Well, that's a hard thing in music is like you write a song that you like and you write it because you like it. And if people like it, now they want to hear more of that. But it's like, you don't want to write the same song every time, but I suppose you have to stick within a sound.
Well, that's a debatable thing you're saying, isn't it though? Because you got like a guy like Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, where his songs don't all sound the same, but they all sound like the Foo Fighters, if that makes sense. And they're all catchy in their own kind of way, for the most part, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, because certain bands...
that's an example of they have what works for them down pat.
Yeah, I think there's a good argument there. When you say that, do you mean in the sense like it was an anomaly, the song you wrote, and it just happened to be a really good song, so you put it on your album, and now you're expected to write like that? Or is it the sound of the band?
Yeah, that's 2 different things. I mean, I think I was kind of going on like the sound of the band, especially those guys. They're a 2-piece.
Sometimes that sucks though. If you listen to like say the band like Material Issue, a band from Chicago from the early 90s, indie rock band.
Never heard of them. Sorry.
Yeah.
Material
Valerie
Issue.
Loves Me was their big song. Valerie Loves Me. Anyway.
Okay.
They're a power trio that just like writes songs like early Green Day, just like power chord tunes, right?
Yeah.
And you listen to their album, there's a song called Valerie Loves Me, there's a song called Diane, there's a song called This Girl, That Girl, whatever girl's name it is. And they're all like Little Christine's one of them.
Really?
Yeah, it is. And it's not little. It's not little.
Indulge
it's Lil. It's Lil.
L-I-L. Indulge me. Say all those song names again.
Valerie Loves Me. Diane. Lil Christine.
Lil. And then you said there was a 4th one with a girl.
Well, no, they're like here. I'll go down the album. I'll just pull it up right here and look at it. Because no lie, every song's about a fucking girl. At least with 9 Inch Nails. 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine was all about the same girl. And it's a dark fucking album. It is a dark motherfucking album. And he did it with class. Where these guys, God rest. Oh, dude, I know what I wanted to talk to you about. I found this out on the way over here. I'll get to it in 1 second. Let me just figure out the name of these songs.
While you're looking that up, I heard a word the other day. It reminded me of you. Do you know what a muckspout is?
It sounds like me.
Yeah. It's a person who swears too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're a muckspout. Johnny Muckspout.
Yeah, fuck that. Okay. Valerie Loves Me. Diane. Renee renames the same. The Letter, Out Right Now, Crazy, Chance of a Lifetime. Lil Christine. It's L-I-L Christine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's four songs with girls' names in it.
About girls' names.
The girl with the saddest eyes. It's just it's really bad. Okay,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. So
Sorry,
you know
what
I found
was
out?
the name of the band? What was that? I don't want to shit talk. Shit talking. A band I can't remember the name.
Material Issue, because
Yeah,
Valerie Loves Me. Valerie
Too many
Loves Me
girl
is a
songs.
great song, though. Valerie Loves Me is a great song. So I found this out today, and I guess we're going to look this up together and research it, but apparently the lead singer of Crazy Town died today.
I heard that.
I did not hear that until like on my way over here. I was talking to Gene Lewis, and he told me.
I just saw it on Instagram, and I didn't hear a cause. So do you know how?
We're going to find out. But before we look into that, the guy's got a real bad history of drugs.
Yeah. So I've
you know,
heard.
they got kicked off of the Ozfest in 2000 because he went on a bender and was like freaking out in a hotel room.
And you got to do a lot of drugs to get kicked off Ozfest.
He was on Celebrity Rehab on VH1.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, if you're getting kicked off of Ozzy's tour, you got to be fucking for drugs.
Yeah, right.
you know, something wrong. All right, let's take a look on. I would imagine. I literally just found out about this driving over here. Shifty Shell Shock. He was 50 years old, man. That's fucking sad. He was 49 when he died. He was going to be 50 in August.
Wait, his birthday's today, or he's going to be? Okay, gotcha.
He was going to be. Okay, so this is from Rolling Stone. Shifty Shell Shock, frontman of Crazy Town, dead at 49. Oh, they're making me fucking pay for that. What is that word that I am now? A schmutz monster?
A schmutz monster. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I mean, you can coin that as your own.
The schmutz monster. Shifty Shell Shock, the lead singer of the band Crazy Town, has died at the age of 49, according to the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner. Shell Shock, whose real name was Seth Binzer, died at a residence Monday, according to the coroner's online records. Additional details were not immediately available. It prompted a lot of people to say shit. I mean, here's the thing, man.
Speculate.
I'm not going to talk shit about the guy because I don't know him.
That song was huge. That song was successful.
Yeah, I mean, they were still touring because of that one song.
Yeah.
I just, it's just a sad rock and roll cliche. You know what I mean? Like, we've all had our issues with substance abuse at times, you know? I just don't know how you get to the level of like where death is like a thing. I say that now, watch it a year from now, you're like, guys, I hate to break the news, but Jonny died last night at his home. He drank one too many Red Bulls.
Dark. You're dark there. And then in the last second, you turned it around. Jonny had one too many White Claws. And he choked on his own raspberry White Claw.
He choked on his own raspberry White Claw. He was deep throating the White Claw, and
he fell asleep and choked on raspberry White Claw and vape.
I wonder if anybody's ever died from choking on a White Claw while sleeping.
Here's to hoping not.
Dude, I've woken up from a dead sleep and I've had a half a White Claw next to me from when I passed out. And I just drink it because I'm thirsty. Takes that weird hangover. You ever have those hangovers like you just woke up too soon and the hangover's like in its prime and you're like, I just feel horrible. You know, that works. That's insane. Anyway, it's just sad to see that happen. And this, what makes me feel bad is that, and this is what might be perceived as being a dick, I don't think it'll surprise anybody. It's sad. It's shocking. Well,
yeah, it's sad and shocking, but I mean, if a guy has a long enough history, it takes the element of surprise is not there anymore. I mean, nobody's going to be like, what?
Like when Scott Weiland died, we were like, oh man, that really sucks. But was it a shock to anybody? And that, hey, listen, I'm not judging when I say that. I feel like a real dick for saying that for some reason. I do feel like a dick for saying that, though.
Speak the facts. You're allowed to speak the facts.
Just one man's opinion. Just one man's opinion. So what do you got today, Harris?
Speaking of death,
nice segue.
Did you know that Waylon Jennings was Buddy Holly's bass player? Waylon Jennings, country artist.
No, I didn't. He was Buddy Holly's bass player?
He was Buddy Holly's bass player. I was reading this article yesterday, actually. It's interesting. And on the day that the plane went down, you know, the day that the music died, he was supposed to get on that plane with Buddy Holly. They had weather conditions or something. So whatever led to him saying
Buddy Holly won the flip or something, didn't he?
Yeah, it was him, Richie Valens, Big Bopper got on that plane. Waylon Jennings got on the, they all died, got on the bus. And what I was reading said that Buddy Holly's last thing he said to Waylon Jennings was, "I hope your old bus freezes up." And Waylon Jennings looks back and he says, "I hope your old plane crashes." And he got on the bus and they left.
My God.
And I guess for like the rest of his life, he felt like it was his fault. How awful is that, dude? You're just kidding around. I mean, how many things have you said to me or anyone that like, if that was the last thing you said to me?
What's it called? No, that's some wild shit. You know, I've been to, as you have, been to the Cliff Burton site a couple of times. If you think about the Metallica crash, if you think about the Leonard Skinner crash, this is all great shit to talk about right before I go on tour.
I'll let you continue. I have something. That article mentions something about Skinner, and continue.
Okay. Could you imagine, or I don't know, or the guy from Shannon Hoon dying on the bus, Blind Melon.
That was an overdose, though, was it not?
Well, yeah, but it was an overdose. But what I'm saying is, how fucked up it must be to be in a band. Your tour bus crashes, a guy dies. You wake up on the tour bus, there's a guy dead from an overdose. You see the plane crashes. The Leonard Skinner band, their plane crashes. 3 of them die, the rest live. It's just like, how do you, I mean, it's just, I can't wrap my mind around, like, being on tour is like being in a bubble. Imagine being in that Metallica bus, like, where Kirk Hammett and Cliff actually picked cards for the location in the bus.
Oh, really?
And Cliff died. Yeah. Cliff picked the ace of hearts.
And so what they were picking for bunks?
Yeah, and he took Kirk's bunk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, think about that. Like, not only do you have to like wrap your mind around the fact that like your bandmate died and you were there in the accident and lived, but he was sleeping in what was supposed to be your bunk. Could you imagine?
Yeah, it's a lot to process. And
Kirk's such a soft-spoken little man.
Did you? Well, maybe it. Who knows how it affected him? And I'm not saying that is why he's soft-spoken, but so the plane that crashed with Leonard Skinner in it, prior to them purchasing that plane, Aerosmith was going to buy that plane, the very plane, and they sent whoever I call it who was going to be their pilot, or they sent somebody to inspect the plane. The band manager sent somebody to inspect the plane, and they were like, "Yeah, no, it's not in good enough shape. We don't buy the plane." And Leonard Skinner goes, "They didn't have the same feeling about the plane. Buy the plane. Plane crashed." That's wild.
I mean, wow. I mean, I wonder who went to look at the plane for Leonard Skinner. You know, that's really,
well. That was the thing. It's like they didn't send somebody, or whoever inspected the plane for them didn't have any red flags, but the person that inspected it for Aerosmith was like, "Yeah, no, you don't want to buy that."
Well, is that the reason? How did the plane crash? Was that the reason why the plane crashed?
Let's look it up because I don't know. The aircraft ran out of fuel.
What? How the fuck does that happen?
The aircraft ran out of fuel and crashed in a wooden area near the town. Killing the pilots.
How far could the flight been?
So the 2 pilots died and the 3 band members died. The band's manager.
Wow. That shit's just deep, man.
Let's
just some deep shit.
Full acknowledgement that sucks and it's sad and it's awful. But if you have a pilot that doesn't have enough fuel in the plane, how does that happen?
Can you look
How does
up
that happen?
where they were flying to and from? Meaning, how many miles? And could it have simply been that the pilot thought they had enough fuel to make it? Or he's just a dumb idiot.
I'm looking at it now. Dude, they just released an album. They played in Greenville, South Carolina, and they were flying to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So they were flying from South Carolina to Louisiana.
Not even a 2-hour flight. Not even a 2-hour flight.
Like maybe it's like an hour flight.
Yeah.
So that happened in 1977. So granted, it's not current technology, whatever. But
is there any way to find out if they did like drug test on the pilots, or were they intoxicated? Were they doing lines of blow or anything like?
Well, if you're flying
he's like,
Leonard Skinner in the 70s. I doubt it was an innocent flight.
Yeah. At 77, Coke was like in its prime.
So Skinner chartered the plane. So it was a chartered plane.
I wonder if that was the first tour they ever used an airplane. They were like, we got a plane.
Says to get from gigs from their hometown in Florida, the band chartered the plane on October 18th, 1977. The aircraft arrived at Greenville Downtown Airport in South Carolina after a short flight from Lakeland, Florida. While on the ground in Greenville, the plane was refueled with 400 gallons of low-lead fuel. The flight departed. Pilot flying the plane requested a flight level of 12,000 feet.
This is great what you're reading, by the way. What is it that you're reading?
I just Googled an article. And I don't feel like pulling.
I
don't feel like pulling it up, Johnny. I feel like just reading it to you.
Please,
baby.
that's fine. That's good.
Yeah.
I like it. This is great facts. Great facts.
After reaching the preferred cruising altitude, air traffic control told the pilot to descend 6,000 feet and maintain that altitude. It was acknowledged by the pilot, who told Houston ATC air traffic control that he was low on fuel.
So they said they went to 12,000 feet and then he was told to drop down to 6,000 feet?
Told to lower, yeah. At 18:44:34, so I'm assuming that means 6:44 p.m., the pilot said, we're not declaring an emergency, but we do need to get close to Macomb as straight and good as we can get, sir. So they're running out of fuel. This story is getting more boring than last week's eyeball story.
I'm still with it. Like, so
it doesn't say. It doesn't say if anything. The article we can research it further. I'm sure that information's out there. What I just pulled up doesn't say. Good story. We like to tell half truths.
I'm doing one Google on how did Leonard Skinner plane run out of fuel?
Skinner's plane run out of fuel.
Okay, so this is the AI overview. The National Transportation Board determined the crew's inattention to the plane's fuel supply was the probable cause of the Leonard Skinner plane crash. The twin engine ran out of fuel near the end of its flight from Greenville to Baton Rouge and crashed in a forest. That still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because planes are gliders. If they run out of fuel, it doesn't make them wreck.
Oh, this is it. Okay, the Leonard Skinner plane in 70s end resulted from the plane running out of fuel. This was due to excessive fuel consumption, a factor that the crew failed to appropriately gauge. The plane's age and possible mechanical issues could have also attributed to its high fuel consumption. So
Aerosmith is right. Aerosmith is right.
Aerosmith was right on it.
Yeah. Good on them. Jeez.
Could you imagine
That's scary shit, dude. That's scary. Yeah. You're just in a band and dude, put yourself in the band's shoes. In the 70s, I guarantee there was some substance afloat, so they're feeling good. They're just put an album out. They're successful enough to get in a plane, and the pilot.
Wasn't Freebird on that album that he put out?
Sure.
Yeah, but you know what the first line of Freebird is? If I leave here tomorrow. Foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Highway to Hell was the last album Bon Scott did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I put on a fake voice there. I apologize. That actually is a good point.
I like the fake voice anyway. Character.
I also looked up. I looked up Fire Festival 2 again, just because I wanted an update.
What? There's a part 2. Oh no, they're having another one. Right.
And they're selling tickets. They're currently actively selling tickets. There's no bands announced. If you look at the location, on their website, the location with a pin drop, hear me out, with a pin drop says location, Caribbean Sea.
That's it.
And it's a pin drop, and the pin drops you in the middle of the Caribbean Sea.
So here's something about what happened to the Fire Festival 2 after all the hype. He started a scam company ripping people off for fake VIP tickets. This is like his third. This guy's full of shit. It's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam. Also, the date, it's dated right now. I mean, December 6th of this year. Now, as a man who has played many a festival, tell me, I have my opinion. Even if you wanted to do a festival December 6th right now with no bands booked, it's not enough time, right?
When is it for this December?
December 6th. 2024 is the date that it says on their website. That's impossible, right? That's impossible, right?
I would imagine they're having trouble getting bands to commit to it. Like, I mean, think about it for a second.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you'd have trouble getting bands to commit. It would be just a matter of paying them, right?
They'd want the money up front, but then, like, do they want to take money from a known scam artist? I wouldn't. I'd be like, you're going to pay me.
You're not giving him money. If he paid my band,
he's paying my band with money he stole from somebody else because he's a scam artist.
Is that factual, or is that Johnny skepticism?
Johnny skepticism.
Johnny Muckspout.
No, but it's really kind of like not really skepticism. I just pulled up a Reddit article that says he's done the scam 3 or 4 times.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I agree with you. I think the guy's a slime ball, but I'm putting myself in a realistic position of if I was hired to play that festival, I mean, if I got paid, why not? Does that make me cowardly is the wrong word? Does that make me whatever?
I don't know. I guess it would be the same thing as like
slimy.
Some huge drug cartel leader wants some band to come play at his place, and he's willing to pay you some obscene amount of money, but it's literally like blood money. So
that's a little bit different.
Is it?
Taking blood money or drug money. Okay, there's that. There's an element of danger with that, you know.
What's the danger?
Well, I don't want to get whacked if I don't perform a good show. Yeah, play.
Oh, they turned down our offer? Kill them.
Kill them. Kill our family. How did that dude, what's his name, Billy? Billy something? Billy McFarland? McFarland, right?
Who's that?
Fire Festival guy. How did he make his money?
What happened to all the money from the first Fire Festival?
Well, the dude went to prison for like, I want to say like 3 years.
And what was his reasoning for going to prison?
Fraud.
The festival was a fraud. That was like the fraud aspect of it?
Half truths. Look it up. I think it was the way that he went about funding the festival was fraudulent.
Promoter jail.
Whatever, buddy. What's your podcast about, dude? Oh, well, we talk shit and speak half truths, and then look shit up on Google to correct ourselves mid podcast.
Dude, he got 6 years.
6 years, okay.
He got sentenced 6 years. In relation to the scandal in 2018, McFarland pleaded guilty of fraud charges and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was released in March 22 after serving 4 years.
My half truths remain undefeated.
Did people get reimbursed for Fire Festival? On July 3rd, 2018, 2 North Carolina attendees were awarded $5 million in damages. Wow. How did they get fucking so lucky?
Wow.
There's all those fucking people there. 2 people get $5 million and that's it?
Like people went out of business and shit. Who got $5 million and why?
Their names are Seth Crosno and Mark Thompson. Were awarded $5 million in damages. The judgment was granted against Billy McFarland in absentia after he failed to respond to court proceedings. So let's see what this says.
Yeah, I mean, without beating a dead horse, because we've talked about this. Does it say why they got $5 million?
Ja Rule was initially named as a co-defendant, but later removed from the suit after an undisclosed private agreement with the 2 attendees' attorney.
So you cut a deal. I watch enough cop dramas to know when I see a deal being cut.
All right, so here's the criminal. Here's the criminal investigation to get over the half truths. On May 21st, 2017, the New York Times reported McFarland and his associates were under active federal criminal investigation by the FBI for mail fraud, wire fraud, and security frauds. On June 30th, McFarland was arrested and charged with 1 count of wire fraud. So I guess basically what happened is all the money they accepted was done via the wire.
Yeah. So then is it fair to assume that those 2 gentlemen that received $5 million in damages, they were probably like investors or something?
It just said damages. I can't seem to find out why. Well, actually, there's way more lawsuit. There's just, okay. They were subject of a $100 million lawsuit in California. That was dismissed. The second lawsuit against Fire Media and Ja Rule, the promoters identified as does 1 to 100, was filed in Los Angeles by a personal injury lawyer. The plaintiff alleges that they deceived patrons into attending the festival by paying more than 400 social media personalities and celebrities to promote it. The parties were accused of breach of contract, negligent misrepresentation, and fraud, but the suit was later dismissed. The third lawsuit, same violations. And then on May 4th, this one actually lost. Another lawsuit was filed, which provided medical service for the festival and claimed to have suffered $250,000 in damages. So the people who doing medical there, they sued and got money. Another one, and they were sued a lot. These guys who got $5 million, it seems like that was the 9th lawsuit.
Wow. Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
Whose story's boring now, buddy?
This is, but you brought this one up too.
I did.
Yep.
I just thought it was hilarious that the pin location of the festival is the Caribbean Sea.
Well, no, that is funny. Like, I mean, is there any more information on it? Like, do they say?
No.
Nothing. And how much do you have to deposit for?
I didn't see a ticket price, but they were like actively selling tickets.
Crazy. There's a new crop of fucking little rich wannabe whatevers. That just like, I'm going
to a certain dollar amount. I can understand getting a ticket just out of curiosity. If money's not an issue.
You saw the documentary. Would you get on a plane and go there? To what could potentially happen on the other end?
Yeah, I mean, like, no, I wouldn't want to, but I can understand the logic of somebody being like, I want to be a part of the train wreck.
Dude, I'm an asshole. I enjoyed watching those people be part of that train wreck in that documentary. I don't know why, but I'm like,
to an extent, the people that
the people like when it got to a point where I felt bad for the people there, but when they first happened and they were like, because
there was a bunch of people that were just like, oh, cool, a festival, I'm gonna go because I'm a music fan, and then they ended up like almost getting stranded, not having food. Some of that's bad, you know.
Yeah. That's not the people I was thinking of.
You seen the Hawk Tuah girl?
Who's that?
You haven't seen that, dude? It's been like the most viral video in recent memory.
I haven't seen it.
Here, look. This chick, I can't believe you haven't seen this. She's been everywhere. This video came out like a week ago. And
what's a hawk tuah?
Hawk Tuah.
What is it?
This.
How many is on your roster?
There's only one I want. I love you, Pookie, forever.
How do you get over a breakup?
The only way to get over one is get under another. Beat the cobwebs off this thing.
This mother don't miss.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to it. Spit on that thing.
It's amazing, right? It's amazing. You can see why it's going viral. Cute girl, funny girl.
But she's serious. That's what makes it great. Like, she's not joking. Like that's her trick.
It's like there's enough like joking involved to be funny, but there's enough seriousness involved to make it like
that was real. Like that's what you do.
Well, the chick and good on
girl.
Good on her, dude. She's like she connected with a merch company already, and like she's selling hats and merch.
Let me see. What's her merch look like?
Yeah.
Speaking of merch, if you haven't gotten your Mercury Riots merch, make sure you go and check it out. What's her real name?
So her real name is Haley. According to this article, her real name is Haley Welch. I tend to believe this article because it has pictures of her like signing the hats.
She's got like presidential hats.
There she is with like I guess who owns the merch company, Hawk Tuah 24. Spit on that.
What's on
thing.
her? Is that a tattoo on her arm? What is on her arm?
Looks to be a tattoo.
Or that guy burned her.
It's a tattoo on her arm, dude.
Yeah.
Good on her, man. Make that money. Would you want to go viral for something like that?
How's her
like, you know, she was probably like, I think that video was in Nashville and it was like one of those out in the street things. They're probably coming out of a bar, you know?
Yeah, but she kind of hit the jackpot.
Kind of, right?
I mean, how many of those do you think she sells?
The hats?
How much are they?
Dude,
Where do you buy them? Where do you buy it? Hawk Tuah. I'm going to Google this.
Yeah,
Hawk
Google
Tuah
it.
merch.
I'm tired of Googling.
Hawk. Tuah. She got fired. Hawk Tuah girl got fired.
That turned out to be false.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
She was fired. She's a preschool teacher.
That article turned out to be false from what I read. There was a lot of false positives going on with this young lady in the past week. I'm all about it. Totally messed up my algorithm.
She's got a lot of merch, and it's all based off of Donald Trump stuff, though.
What do you mean?
Look at it. It could be anybody's campaign. It could be Biden's too. Really.
You think it's Trumpy just because it looks like political?
I mean, it could look like anybody. It could look like anybody running.
It looks like presidential election. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what it's
call it one party or the other.
Hawk.
Just to be fair.
What's this one say? Hawk to girl. How about talk to a girl? What does that mean?
You really can't read, can you?
What am I reading wrong? How about talk to a girl?
Talk to a girl. How about talk to? That's stupid. That's not hers.
Right? That doesn't make sense, right? And then what's this one? This one looks funny. It comes in a lot of spit on the thing. That thing.
It's pretty funny. I'm glad she's at least has her part in the merch too, because there's a lot of people out there just like they're going to be making money off of something that somebody else said.
I think she's underselling her merch.
Yeah, it's kind of slimy whenever like other people step in and like just take advantage of it. I don't know.
I think
seems amoral to me.
I think she should be selling them more than $20 though.
Yeah,
I think she could, and she should stop making it so presidential looking. I guess that makes sense for the election coming up.
I hope now that you looked up a couple of things, it takes over your algorithm too, and you can't avoid it because my Instagram is nothing but the Hawk Tuah girl.
Really?
Yeah, it's her video. It's other people making stupid memes that some are funny and some are absolutely not, and somehow it got into my algorithm.
What do you think her father thinks about
that? There's a whole bunch of those too. There's like what's it? It was like one was Walter White, like one of the serious climax moments of Breaking Bad, and it was like there was another one that it was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And she's like, spit on that thing. He's like,
anyway, on that note, you got anything else?
I think that's about it.
About it. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining on this lost episode of episode 103.
Lost episode.
The lost episode of the What Everybody podcast. This one came from 1967. Thanks for going back in the time machine with us. Made no sense. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, and report.
Click that dingy bell.
Ding, 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 and Hawk Tuah to everybody you know. I'll talk
Spit
to you
on
soon.
that thing. Later.
Later.